What's up, I got amazing news. Most of y'all should already know if, this is the type of content you watch. But the solar eclipse is coming in 11 days from when I'm recording this video. So I'm just want to let y'all know that I will be in New Jersey, which will be we'll be able to see 80% of the solar eclipse. And when it does come, I'm gonna have my telescopes out and I will be recording it. So y'all will see the solar eclipse, 80% of the solar eclipse on my channel. So look out for that. It's basically a video telling y'all to look forward to that. But also I'm gonna talk a little bit about what is a solar eclipse. So we're gonna get into that next. So there are 5 different types of eclipse. And the first one we got here is the total eclipse, solar eclipse. And so with this one, it's particularly special because the moon completely covers the sun. And so what we're able to see is that white that you see is the corona of the sun. And this is the only eclipse that you're actually allowed to take off your eclipse or your solar glasses and actually look at it with your own eyes. But then of course, once the moon moves out of the center position, you got to put those back on. But it's really special because we're able to really study the actual corona of the sun. And interestingly enough, this is actually a technique that some satellites use to find exoplanets on orbiting stars in other star systems. So what they'll do is they'll look at the star, they'll cover that star so that there's not any of that glare, and then once the glare is gone, that's when we're able to see any other planets. So that's just something really cool about that. Next up, we have the annual solar eclipse. This is similar to the total eclipse, except the moon is at its farthest distance from the Earth. And so that's why it seems smaller than the sun. When the moon is closer, that's when it's able to completely cover the sun. But it's not able to do that because it's farther away. So that's when we're able to see kind of the edge of the sun still around the moon. We're not getting this type of eclipse. We're actually getting the total eclipse on April 8th. This type of eclipse was last year, I believe, October 14th, 2023. And you can fact check me on that. But it's still a pretty cool type of eclipse. Next, we got the partial eclipse. This one is as simple as it sounds. It's just the moon going over a certain part of the sun. And the reason why you'll see this is because a total in a annual solar eclipse will be going on at a different part of the Earth. So because the Earth is a sphere, at a certain angle it's going to be a total eclipse, but then at another angle it's not, the moon's not going to cover the whole sun. So that's when we're going to see this partial eclipse, and that's going to be important for the next one. So this next eclipse is called a hybrid eclipse, and as I was explaining earlier, it's because of the spherical shape of the Earth. So while a place might start off as a annular eclipse, it could turn into a total eclipse based off the movement of the Earth and the tilt of as the moon moves. So those can kind of switch back and forth. So last but not least, we have the lunar eclipse. So this one, in my opinion, is the coolest just because it just looks cool. It's that bloody red moon. But it happens when it's kind of the opposite of what a regular eclipse is. So this time the Earth is in between the moon, and it's a full moon specifically, but it's in between the moon and the sun. And so some of the sunlight, the only sunlight that still goes through and reflects on the moon is that red wavelength. So that's why we see the bloody red moon. So this is the path for the eclipse that's happening in the US. And as you can see, it's going from Maine all the way down to the middle of Texas. Now, that path specifically is where the total solar eclipse is happening. But around those areas, so even in New Jersey or in Missouri, there's going to be a partial eclipse where you can see a percentage of that eclipse. All right, so as you can see on this chart that I pulled up, and I'm gonna put the link for this in the description. Solar eclipses are actually happening like all the time, like at least once or twice per year. So if you do miss this one, I don't know, if you got the money to travel, you can travel to see another one that's coming in the past years. And something I want to point out, you can kind of see like there's different types of eclipse that are happening throughout those years. So maybe in one time or in one place it's going to be annual, but then the other is going to be total, but then the other is going to be partial. So it just really depends on where you are, what time you see it, and yeah, I mean, those are the biggest two. So, and what you're looking for. So don't fret. All right, y'all, this is gonna be the end of today's video. I hope y'all are as excited as I am for this solar eclipse that is happening. Like always, if you liked the video, give it a like. If you haven't already subscribed, go and subscribe. If you didn't like the video, go ahead and like it and subscribe. This is Ron B. I'm out.